ResortLoop.com is proudly sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Indulge in a taste from the South Pacific. Joffrey's new Disney Parks and Resorts blend, Alani, brings the islands to you. Blended with Hawaiian Kona beans and roasted to perfection, Alani is buttery smooth with a tropical sweet aftertaste. Available at Alani or Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
As you enter, please slide across the seat to allow room for those who may follow. And please be sure your hands and legs are away from open doors. Thank you.
Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. That's Bob Collar.
That's Tim Scott. What is that? What kind of opening is that?
I'm not afraid to mix it up. This is ResortLoop.com. This is episode 344.
Is the no edit 2016 over with? We can cut that out and start over again?
No, it continues until 2017.
All right.
I know.
All right, if we have to.
We better get our feet moving on this episode.
We got a huge episode. This is very exciting. Everybody out there in Looper Nation knows that we started a running team, the ResortLoop Rocketeers.
Yes.
And we're very excited. We have the team captains on, as well as a couple of folks that got to run in the Star Wars half marathon dash the dark side.
Sorry about
I'm sorry. That was a little asthma kicked up there. Tim, why don't you introduce who we got on the show today?
Well, joining us, we have, of course, team captains, Emily Honsa Hicks.
Woohoo!
Woo! Joe Quattrocchi.
Looper Nation, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
And joining us for the first time on ResortLoop.com, we have Tara Chandler.
Hi, guys.
Woo, hi, Tara.
Woo, welcome. And Michael McLain.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Michael.
Welcome, everyone. This is exciting.
So what are we going to talk about today with these guys, Tim?
I know. I think we should throw it to the team captains.
Oh,
I'm not a running expert. I can barely walk.
So we're just going to sit back and let them take over the show?
Why not?
I love that idea.
I do too.
Go ahead, guys.
Go ahead. Go. Ladies first. Go ahead, Emily.
All right. So what I'm going to tell you first is the way this all happened, the way we know Tara and Michael. Well, Tara goes a little bit further back, but Michael's been ambushed essentially to be on this podcast, and he's never talked to any of these people except for Tara and I a couple times during a race. So we're going to try to have mercy on him, but let's see. So basically we've all done. Joe was busy during the Dark Side Challenge, and can you tell us what you were doing, Joe, that weekend?
I was probably doing something. I was running in Jersey. I was running in Jersey. I had the Asbury Park Half Marathon, which was absolutely awful. Did not turn out very well. I think I ran it in 2 hours and 13 minutes or something like that, which is not good for me. But I got through it, didn't quit, so that's what I was doing. It would have been better if I was in Disney running the Dark Side. At least I would have had the parks and stuff to look forward to afterwards. But that's what I was doing, but I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say on the show here about how the Dark Side Challenge was.
That's pretty embarrassing, Joe, because, we were able to finish our half marathon in under 4 hours. So I'm sorry for you that it took you so long.
But for what you paid for it, you definitely got your money's worth out of it. So the faster you run it, the less of a value it is.
That's true.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's start with that. What ballpark, about how much is the Star Wars half marathon? Because I know it's different now. I mean, every year the prices go up. What ballpark, just kind of in general, how expensive?
Well, that's a funny story. Let's see. I think it was like $400.
Yeah, that was close to it. Because you guys did the challenge too, correct?
Right. But
yeah,
sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the challenge and the 5K, and that was close to about like over $400 for all the races.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the Darth Vader challenge. Is that the one?
Yeah, it was the Dark Side Challenge. It was the 10K, the TIE Fighter 10K, and then the half marathon.
Wow. Oof. Wow.
Right. And Michael has some more stuff to confess. Did you do anything on the West Coast?
Yeah, I did the light side in January, so I completed the Castle Run as well to get the Millennium Falcon medal for doing both.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
I'm super jealous. Not gonna lie.
We're both very jealous.
One of these days, we're gonna do it, Tara.
I know. You keep getting me excited for it.
I know. Hey, Michael, do you know if there's a time limit, by the way? Do you have to do it like within a year, or does it not matter?
It is. I think they treat it just like a coast to coast. So you'd have to do the light side and the dark side in 1 calendar year.
Darn it. So we should have done it this coming year, Tara. Yep.
I'm not going to say I told you so.
You can say you can do it.
And well,
it doesn't count if you can't see my face.
not to add any peer pressure here, but I do still think that there is spots available for the light side as we speak.
Oh,
that is true. Oh, and by the way,
it did not sell out.
Really?
No, it did not sell out. No.
So that brings to my funny story about the price of it. I had originally, when I signed up for the race, it was in a fit of endorphins on the monorail. Somebody suggested that it was going to be awesome, and so I looked at my husband, who doesn't talk much, and I was like, "What do you think? Should I do that? Should I do that?" And he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "That's a yes, okay." So I signed up for the only thing that was available, which was the half marathon. So I told Tara, like, "Hey, you want me to stay in your hotel room with you and your brother, and we could all go together that you've already booked?"
This all happened in approximately 2.5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
She asked me if she should run the race and if I was running, and I said yes. And she said, "Can I run with you?" And I said, "Of course, it should be amazing." And by the time I had even looked back down at my phone, she was registered and sending me the screenshot. So it happened very quickly.
What can I say? I'm an action person. So anyway, I signed up originally for the half, which was I think $199, and then I started getting super jealous because she's doing this challenge and it sounds like so much fun. And then I discovered that you can get the bibs sometimes through a travel provider, even when it's completely sold out. So I went through a travel provider that was certified in RunDisney. And I'm not sure if Tyler Braun is certified in RunDisney, but if he's not, he should look into it. But the RunDisney partner travel agents can sometimes get bibs where there are none. And so we were able to get one by poor Tara transferring one of her reservations for a hotel room into my name so I could register as having like the room package that was required. Oh. So it was a lot of hoop jumping, and then RunDisney easily transferred my half registration to the challenge. And the transfers are really painless, and I don't think a lot of people know about it, but my husband also signed up for the half for the wine and dine and was able to transfer it to the challenge when it became available in general registration, and he got the refund. I think you lose about $25 or $35 in the transfer.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But it's kind of worth it if you if you'd really rather do the challenge, or if you decide you don't want to do it anymore or something like that.
Okay, well, for everybody out there in Looper Nation that's interested in doing the dark side, registration opens August 9th. So make sure you get in on that. That's coming
up. And
up.
Bob, just to piggyback off of that, just look, as of today's recording, which would be, I don't want to give away any podcasting secrets, but the 19th of July is when we're recording this. The Star Wars Half Marathon for the light side at the Disneyland Resort is still available. The Rebel Challenge, the 10K to 5K, and the Run Disney Kid races are all sold out. And according to RunDisney.com, the half marathon is $185 for just a half. So it's still available right now as of the 19th of July.
And also, if I might add on real quick, if you're a pass holder or DVC member, you'll be able to register on August 2nd at noon Eastern time for the dark side.
Oh, good news.
Right. That is good to know.
Awesome. And don't forget the travel providers if you missed out. So it is theoretically possible, Tara, that I could still convince Matt that we could do the light side.
Okay, I'll wait on that one.
But it's unlikely, but it's possible.
Yeah, and keep in mind the light side, that's running in January 12th through the 15th at Disneyland. And the dark side is April 20th through the 23rd at Walt Disney World in Florida. So now, do you have to run? You have to run both the challenges, Mike, to get the Millennium Falcon, or is it just half?
I think it's just both halves. You can do both halves, and then you get the Millennium Falcon medal. You don't have to necessarily do the challenges. I just have to have everything Star Wars, so I sign up for about everything. So that's how that came to pass. But I had friends that just did the halves on both sides to also get the Millennium Falcon medal.
And Michael, in regards to the Millennium Falcon medal, is it super thick? Is it like? Can you describe the medal? Is it like, for example?
Tell us, Michael. Tell us.
Yeah. Tell us what the medal is. We're going with the bling. Is it super thick? Is it heavy like the Coast to Coast medal? That's my favorite Run Disney medal. Is my Coast to Coast medal. Is it like real like heavy? Is it like? Can you describe like what it looks like and what the medal's like?
Oh yeah, it's it's a nice decent size, about the bigger than your regular Coast to Coast medal. A nice weight to it too, and it is just it's a etched outline of the Millennium Falcon with the top details, saying the words Kessel Run, actually inaugural Kessel Run, on the back part of the Falcon, which we know opposite the cockpit, and it's just super nice. It's one of those like, oh man, I'm so glad I did this, because I would just been heartbroken if I did all that and not received it. But it was very popular and stuff. It's even spurned. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the pens that also come out that you can buy at the expos and stuff, where it's like replicas of the medals, and they actually sold out of those on the first day with all the people buying them, all the people, if you don't mind me saying, the scalpers and stuff like that.
Right.
That a lot of people didn't get to have them, but I do think it's still on there on the DisneyStore.com or the app as well. You can go in and type in the word Kessel, and they have been popping up the shirts that were available as well as the metal pen that was available, because I think of all the feedback and flack they got, because I had friends that showed up the day, like maybe on Friday, that had no chance of getting a Kessel Run shirt because they were already gone. But to go back to your original question, this medal is pretty sweet. I hope it's something they can build upon as this challenge progresses.
What you need to do in the future, Michael, is find somebody like Tara who will go down a couple of days early just to get you a Dooney purse. Just saying. Right?
Oh, really?
Because every man needs one of those.
Yes, it's true. And she will bring her lovely brother, Tyler, who, shout out to Tyler, Chandler out there, will purchase that separately for you with your gift card that you gave him in advance because you couldn't get a flight in time. So, just saying. Just saying.
You might look a little silly buying the purse.
A real man can buy a purse. It's okay.
Exactly.
And wear it out of the store. Don't bag it. You wear it.
So if you just run the marathons, if you just run the individual marathons, you get a really cool, over in Disneyland, you get the Rebel Challenge medal, which is kind of cool. It's got all kinds of Star Wars stuff on it. It looks like they're all different. Over there. And then the Dark Side, you're getting a really cool TIE Fighter looking medal.
Yeah, the TIE Fighter was the 10K medal. And I'd say that was one of the more popular ones because it's shaped just like a TIE Fighter, just like the Falcon medal is shaped just like the Falcon. The 5K medal had some, medallion, because it's not really a medal, had the 3 stormtroopers on it. And then we got a really cool spinning medal for the half marathon itself that had Vader on one side and the Emperor on the other. And for running both of those, you get the Dark Side Challenge, which was a Death Star medal as well. So it's it was just a lot. Like I said, we're all Star Wars fans here, and it's just those were very nice medals. You could tell that they took their time to get it done the right way.
Also, do not give a 2-year-old the spinning medal because they'll pinch their fingers. Just FYI. Not that I would ever do that, so do not shame me on the internet. But
Emily, that's why it's the dark side. See, it's meant to hurt people. Don't. The
screams hurt me a lot. I'm telling you.
So you guys ran in this thing, and everybody gets dressed up for these things. We already know that Emily dressed as a certain dark Sith, if you will.
That's right.
What did first off, Emily, explain your costume, and then Tara and Mike, you tell us what you guys dressed up in.
All right, so Tara and I, angsted over this for a long time, and I knew what I wanted to be right away. I knew I wanted to be Boba Fett, and I wanted to be Darth Maul, and there was just no question. So we designed all these costumes together, but well, actually Tara did most of all of her own work, but so the Boba Fett costume I kind of slacked on. I got a Boba Fett t-shirt and some gray leggings, and the Darth Maul costume was some cool stripy leggings and then a shirt that I put on some markings on, his Sith tattoos, if you will. And then that was all I was planning on doing, just wearing the t-shirt and then the leggings and calling that a day. And we went out there the first day and I decided to be Darth Maul because I think it was going to be colder or something. So I put on my leggings and then I just kind of got carried away with the eye makeup pen. And I just happened to have a picture of Darth Maul with me. So I got, and then Tara was like, it's not complete. So then I started putting the little hair things up into the little horn things that he has. These are all technical terms. And it was really early in the morning in my defense. So it all seemed like a really good idea. And then the second day I did not dress up like Boba Fett because everybody was dressed up like Boba Fett. There were like 5 billion Boba Fett.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
True
right?
story. Oh. Yes. But
I didn't see any, like, I think I saw one other Darth Maul. And maybe the Darth Mauls were all faster than me. But so that could have been it. And then the second day, I was kind of ashamed of my makeup the first day because of the way Darth Maul, when I met him, looked at me. And he was kind of like judging me with his yellow eyes. So I promised him I would do better.
Come on.
Yes. I am in love with Darth Maul. But, so there you go. So that's the story. I did not wear Boba Fett, even though I had it. I wore Darth Maul both days because I felt he was underrepresented. And I'm a champion of the underdog. So there you go.
Nice.
Under Sith. The under Sith.
But
the girl next to me was getting dressed too, and her name was Tara.
Oh, Tara, what were you?
Segue.
Yeah, so Emily and I, the dark side is very strong with both Emily and I, but for some reason, both of my costumes were the light side. So for the 10K, I did a BB-8 costume. I had some leggings with sort of the circular orange print on it and a running top. And I actually made a little antenna from a pipe cleaner and a orange sweaty band. And I put my hair up in a bun to kind of make it look like a little, and just drew a little bit on my face. Not quite as much as Emily. I had to leave a lot of the eyeliner for her to make sure she had enough.
I did use your pen, didn't I?
And then for the half marathon, I did a Rey costume and went the whole 9 yards with that one. I went to, Joann Fabrics and got the right kind of fabric and made a belt in the bag and did the hair and the whole shebang.
Wow.
She was amazing. Like, this was the best Rey costume. I saw a lot, and no offense to all of the listeners that may have dressed up like Rey. Maybe you were better and I just didn't notice, but Tara was the best. So
no, I
analyzed that costume like I was taking the bar exam, I think.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, you saw a lot of Rey costumes out there, I think. What was just like, let's just quickly get some bandage and just wrap it around the arms and just have my girlfriend real quick just put my hair up as quickly as just look at this movie still and we'll do the best we can. But they did a great job with their costumes. Both the girls did.
Thank you.
You crazy.
All right, Michael, what'd you do?
Well, I'm going to save the suspense for the. For the 10K and the half marathon, I just went as everyday Mike McLain in a typical running shirt and shorts, so nothing exciting there at all. But for the 5K, I went as kind of like a little pseudo Kylo Ren. I had parts of my costume that I had from Halloween, and one of the smaller Disney lightsabers that I carried around, and just took pictures and stuff like that. So. And plus, I'm not really I sweat a lot, just for maybe too much information purposes. But
me too.
Costumes for me like that, I can't really do too much. So I figure for the 5K when I'm just running around acting like a fool for 3.1 miles, I can do this. So that's what I did. But it's just the details of the costumes, especially if I can kind of segue into this, is how it's funny how I met these two. because it was during the 10K, and I was like, halfway, we're almost done, and like they were making some kind of comments, and it just made me laugh, and I was like, well, these two seem to be fun to pacing like the rest of the way with, and they were, and we just kind of like talked there, looked at other people's costumes, made a little comments or whatever, and it was just great. And then the next day, as we're all in separate corrals with over like 20 some odd thousand people running, or however what many there were, I ended up seeing them in the last 3 miles again. So we just kind of repeated what we did the day before, which was really cool. So
I forced them to take some selfies with us.
So you didn't know them at all before this race?
No, not at all. That's what, I had a ton of friends there. I'm a local guy, so I only live about 20 minutes from property. So we had a lot of my local friends in here running it and stuff like that. But a lot of my friends who do a lot of running, they're there to do, they train for personal records and stuff like that. I'll get out to a good pace, and then I'll see somebody I know working the event, or I'll see friends, and I'll just stop and take pictures and stuff like that. And so it was good to, meet these gals and just kind of run the rest of the way with them.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, so
we are a good time, right, Tara?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for everybody out there listening that says, I can't do a race. I'm not a runner. I can't do a marathon. I can't do any of that stuff. Why don't you guys, including you, Joe, explain to everybody how easy it is to participate in a Run Disney event, especially the 5Ks.
I mean, for the 5Ks, all you have to do is walk. If you could walk, which, as long as you can keep a 16-minute pace, which in theory, that's what you're supposed to be doing, for you not to be cut off. But during a 5K event, they won't cut you off. You just go out there for a nice walk. Even if you're in the rear, you're participating. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do is just get out there and walk. Throw your walking shoes on, have a good attitude, and just go out there and walk. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. I mean, you don't have to be, a 2-hour half marathoner or a 50-minute, 10K. It doesn't matter. It's just go out there and just walk and have fun. That's the most important thing. Is like, for example, look at Michael. Didn't know, these guys at all, and just met them during a race. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. You'll meet great people during these events. You'll meet people while you're walking. You'll start talking with people. It's an all around just great experience and great event. That's all you have to do. Just get out there and walk. And we're all fans of Disney. We all walk every day in the park, and it's just as simple as that.
You hit the nail on the head. If you can walk around Disney, you can do a Run Disney event.
Absolutely.
And the 5Ks aren't timed. They're not a timed race at all. So you don't have to worry about there's no clock. So you don't have to feel bad about looking at the clock when you cross the finish line. It's not timed. There's no official printout. It's a fun run. That's what it's called. Is a Run Disney 5K fun run.
See, okay. Tim, I tell you that you can do these. That we got to get down there and the two of us running a Run Disney.
I know, you keep beating me over the head about that. So
I do. You got new tennis shoes.
I do.
Hey, I'll walk with you, Tim. It'll just be an excuse for me not to have to run it. So that's how I started this. And Tara can tell you, that's a really good point. And maybe Tara can tell you, I was terrified. I'd never run like this before in my life. I had done like a 10K ever. And that's when this crazy endorphin rush happened, where I thought it was a good idea to do this. And so I had only ever, and by the way, that 10K I had mostly walked. So that's really something to consider. Walking it is just as exciting as running it sometimes. And I've heard of people that have walked marathons. And locally, I've gone on some training runs, and I've been around people that are, in their 70s, and they're walking these huge races. And it's just amazing. So if you're just a walker, it's a huge accomplishment. I've heard people say, you cross the finish line. When you cross the finish line, you went just as far as anybody who ran it.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
What do you, now I know some of the rules have changed as far as costuming. Do you guys know what the new rules are as far as costuming for the races?
Yeah.
No guns. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. There's no guns. You can still take your lightsabers and stuff like that. During the light side races, when me and my friends were out in California, they stopped. We watched them stop a group of people who had TIE fighter wings like attached to their arms, but they were bigger than like what was allowed, and had to make them take it off. We felt so bad for them because they made, obviously spent a lot of time on these costumes, and then I think still the procedure is like the policy is you can't have anything covering your face. Like you have to have like your face visible at all times.
Now, what about Emily's Darth Maul makeup? Is that going to be an issue this year?
No, I don't think so, because she, you could still, like, even though it was like detailed, you could still see her face. And there was several people that had like faces painted and stuff like that. But like, it's like, say, if I came with my Kylo Ren mask, that would be a big no-no, or my helmet or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I don't think Emily had any trouble with it, but I mean, who really wanted to come up to Emily and tell her that she did?
Well, that's true.
It was super scary, right?
Great point. Don't let the smile fool you in those pictures. She was a frown away from scaring everybody.
Exactly.
And Bob, just for the record, as you know, these guys were talking, I looked this up on the Run Disney website. The guidelines for costumes, just so everybody knows, it says here costumes must be family friendly and may not be obstructive, offensive, objectionable, or violent. And guests who dress like characters may not pose for pictures or sign autographs. They may not contain any weapons that resemble or could easily be mistaken for an actual weapon. They may not contain sharp objects, pointed objects, or materials that may accidentally strike another guest. And layered costumes that conceal prohibited items are not permitted, as known as Jedi robes. Costume props, including those that surround the entire body, are not permitted. They're saying either a Death Star or an uphouse. Costumes may not reach or drag on the ground. Capes may be worn in a length that does not go below the waist. And themed T-shirts, blouses, sweatshirts, and hats are acceptable. Those are just a few of the rules. It says guests may not wear any masks of any kind over the age of 14. So just for everybody who's listening out there, that's like the quote-unquote official rules or statement from Run Disney's website.
And that doesn't mean that you can't dress up. It just means that you have to sort of abbreviate your costume. So just a shout out to a couple of the other people we met out there, which Tara can tell you that I may have creepily stalked in totally an innocent way.
Oh my.
Totally innocent way. Liz and Mike Piernot and Monica. And so Monica was dressed up in this crazy cute Chewbacca outfit. That's how I met her, because we were standing in line for the bathroom and she was in a cute little Chewbacca outfit. So I did take a picture with her, even though she was not a Disney character. But I would never have run in it myself, but it was extremely furry, but it was more of like a mini skirt length and like armbands and a cute head thing. So the key is to, like, I think we've mentioned Disney bounding before on episodes, but where you dress like suggestively of the character, not suggestively, but
inspired by,
suggesting. Yeah. Suggesting.
Oh my.
Right.
That's a whole different race.
Right. So I didn't, obviously I did not know there was a Darth Maul there that had a lightsaber, but I didn't have a lightsaber with me. I didn't have like robes or anything like that. I just had some black leggings and a Sith markings on my chest. You know what I mean? So you can still be whoever you want to be. You can still dress like whatever you'd like to dress like. It's just that you have to sort of just, make sure that they know you're not carrying a weapon, pretty much. So.
Yeah. So real quick, you met Chewbacca going to the bathroom. Wouldn't Chewbacca just go in the woods? I'm just asking.
Not a cute lady Chewbacca.
A lady Chewbacca? Oh my goodness.
She has to check her fur in the mirror and make sure everything looks okay.
And take photos with Emily before she can start again.
Right. Unlike Darth Maul, who just needs to get a towel to paper her face to make sure her makeup isn't running. I mean, her tattoos.
Well, listen, let's go around and let's get your best experience in a Run Disney race. So, Tara, let's start with you. What was your best experience in a Run Disney race?
Well, it's probably twofold, because my first actual half marathon was the Princess Half Marathon in 2015, I believe. I had run a 5K, the Jingle Jungle 5K, and I had run the Tower of Terror 10 miler before that. But just to finish that very first half marathon, and you've run by a castle, I mean, you get to the end and it's pretty much waterworks. There's some tearing up. And then running the Dark Side Challenge was a lot of fun to actually run it with, a good friend of mine. And I mean, Emily and I just laughed our entire way through it. We took pictures every single chance we possibly could, which I think is how we kept running into Michael. Yes. We all had the same game plan.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just a lot of fun. It's really lighthearted.
Excellent.
My game plan was actually not to die, but
you kept saying that, but I knew you would.
Emily, what's been the best experience for you in Run Disney event?
Okay, so I have to pick two, just like Tara did. So I think it was my first Run Disney race, actually, was with my husband and my mom. And we just did a 5K, but I'd never done one before. And going around Epcot and watching a sunrise with my mom and my husband, it was just really magical. Yeah. Sorry. So we just had such a good time, and sharing that with people that I just love so much was just so cool. And it was, even though it's a 5K, we felt so accomplished at the end of that, because it was not something we normally do. And it was it was on a vacation, and we had gotten up super early, and it was that year that it was about 30 degrees or something in Florida. So it was cold and rainy, but we did it anyway, and we got these cool little medallions, and we were super excited. So that was great.
That wasn't the race after we spent the evening before at Misner's Lounge, was it?
Probably it was. But
no, I think bigger.
I think that was the 10K. I mean, probably that happened both times, but no, actually my mom was there, and I don't think she would have approved of Misner's. So I'm thinking that was that we did the 10K that year, and that's what you're talking. And then my second favorite race, obviously, is we're going to skip over the 10K, which was fun, but we're going to go straight to the Dark Side Challenge, which I never honestly thought I would ever be able to do a half marathon. It was totally impulsive. Not that I ever make impulsive decisions, but they're always the best ones, by the way. But I really didn't think I could do it. As the date approached, I thought it was more and more terrifying. And then if you guys recall, I got injured about 3 weeks before, so I'd only ever run 8 miles in my entire life. I have asthma, so I wasn't even sure if I could run. And Tara can tell you, we thought I had forgotten my inhaler, so for the half marathon, and so the whole time I was totally obsessed with the idea that I was going to die of an asthma attack. And it turns out, of course, that I left it in the bag that her marvelous brother was carrying the whole time. And and it was literally right next to us while I was freaking out about how I had left it in the room. But with Tara and with Michael, and Tara, towards the end of the race, I just remember looking, and I think Michael was there too. I just looked at Tara and I was like, if you run, I will run. And so that was at the end of the half. But I just never thought I could do a half marathon ever in my life. I'd never thought that. And I did. And it was because, Tara's just an amazing friend to have next to you. And Mike was there, and we kept seeing the same faces. And sure, you could say it's because we all ran at the same pace. That would be the technical explanation. But it felt like just a really warm group of people that we kept seeing, which is why I was taking pictures of them so that I could share those pictures with them later. By the way, Tara, not creepy.
I had to give her a couple of warnings.
Yes. So that was, it was just amazing. Running through Hollywood Studios was so cool. And then the 501st, we didn't talk about the 501st, but they are sort of, I don't want to say amateurs because they're basically movie grade costumes, but they came out, and I swear to you, that was better. Please forgive me, Disney. That was better than the Disney characters, because they were you knew they loved these characters so much that they had designed these costumes themselves, and they were arrayed all over the Hollywood Studios entrance, and the lines were shorter, which is also a big thing, and you could just run up to one, and you had a whole host of Mandalorian soldiers in different costumes, different color schemes, and for a super nerd like myself, it was just it was heaven to be taking pictures with other super nerds. So anyway, cool. There you go.
Yeah, very cool. Michael, what about you?
I'm going to have to give two stories myself since the rest of them did. But actually, it was my love of Star Wars that got me into this mess. When I heard about they were going to do a half marathon with the Star Wars theme, and that was back in 2015, was not really a runner. I grew up playing sports where if these sports, if you did something bad or you needed punishment, you ran. So I always was like, why would I go do something that I was punished for when I played other sports? And then I was like, you know what? This seems really cool. This could improve, my health. I can have another hobby and stuff like that. So my first half marathon was the Star Wars half marathon, which wasn't called the Light Side yet, but it was the one before last year, and they changed the name. But it's just it's one of those things, like, I never thought that, like, if somebody said, like, this is 13.1 miles, I'm like, no, I can never do that. I rarely go out and do a mile, but with the training, if I can do a little shout out, Jeff Galloway has a little training thing on Run Disney that's fantastic for first time runners and beginners and people wanting to pick it back up. And that's kind of the what I followed. And so, it's just when I did my first half marathon and like what the girls just said, like, I'm there with a lot of my friends from Florida, a lot of my friends out in California, and, you're able to run through the parks and you catch like a Radiator Springs out there in Disneyland at sunrise. You run by the castle, of course. And then when you're out on the road, the 501st in California is out there. And just like they said, very passionate fans. The costumes are fantastic. And it's just and you're running with a bunch of other fans. People are in a good mood at these races. And that's the thing. Like, nobody's trying to – you're occasionally going to go get the person who's running through and trying to zigzag and knock you down because they're going for some kind of personal record, and good luck to them. But for the most part, it's just a whole bunch of people just having a great time. And, I felt just so accomplished when I went across that finish line to receive, the Yavin medal, which is the half marathon medal out there from, that replicates the medals that the Princess Leia gave to Luke Skywalker and Han Solo at the end of Star Wars. Oh. So, yeah, so it's the Yavin.
Considering that race, Emily?
It hurts.
I know. So you got the Yavin medal, and you're there to celebrate afterwards with your friends, and it's a great feeling. And then of course my favorite, and I'm gonna have to concur with the rest of them, is the whole Dark Side weekend was just fantastic. It was busy. Obviously, being a local guy here, I live in Altamont Springs, which is right outside of Orlando, and I had a lot of friends that participated. And for a lot of these people, it was the first time they've ever done a race as well. So a lot of them that were maybe not as active and don't have that part as a part of their lifestyle, they were able to sign up for the 5K and do what you all just said about, like, walking and getting into it and, hopefully spurning something that, gets them into a better lifestyle. So I had a lot of friends do that, but it was just for the whole weekend, and like, meeting Emily and Tara just by running and just having conversations and just being out there with friends, being able to take photos with characters, and just the whole weekend. About the only thing I didn't like was the wake-up call every morning. But
wow.
That's about the toughest part. But that's just the memories I have, and the pictures are fantastic. The stories you share with everybody is great, and it's just it's a really fun time. So that's my two favorite parts.
Excellent, Joe. I'm going to guess it was the coast to coast for you.
Party, yeah. I'm going to give one real quick. I give one for each. On the East Coast side of Disney World, probably my favorite memory was probably when I stepped up to the line in 2014 for the marathon. It was my first marathon, my first ever Run Disney event. And the fireworks are going off. And I'm just like, holy crap, like, this is really happening. And it was something I'd never seen before. Like, it's just like, there's just layers of fireworks just going off. And that was just really cool. Like, okay, this is really happening. And just finishing the race was great. My West Coast, besides finishing the coast to coast, but being out there in California with my dad, just me and a father-son trip. And the fact that, like, my father went to Disneyland when he was a kid, and it was, I'm always the Disney expert. I'm always like, I know everything about Disney World and this and that. But this was the one time that, like, my dad was like, I've been here before, and like, so when we get to the park, I'm wearing the first visit button and he's not, because he's been there before. But just the fact that, like, when I ran the double dare, but then I did the 5K with him, me and him just walked it. And he was so proud just to do something, do a race with me. And we didn't run one bit of it. I started in the back with him. We took a ton of pictures, and it was just a really cool experience to, like, share Disneyland or my dad sharing Disneyland with me and doing the race together. And he still talks about it to this day. He's not a runner. I mean, he's a walker, but some of those pictures are just things that, you can't ever go back and replace. And, for him to be there, just a father-son thing, to do the coast to coast and to share Disneyland with him, him sharing with me, that was just a really cool experience. So like we said before about getting into these events, you don't have to be a runner. I went out there with my pops, had a great time. We walked it together. We walked the 16-minute pace. I tried to make sure he did the 16 minutes, but it was just a lot of fun, and that's all you need to do. So that's pretty much my East and West Coast, favorite Run Disney moments.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
And not to brag, but I think Tara and I finished at about a 16-minute pace for the half, right? I think we were pretty amazing like that. But
I think I just closed my app. I didn't want to look. I gave up on that like way back at the 5:00.
Right. She kept telling me not to worry about it and that we were here for pictures. And she was right. She was right.
I think it was around mile 10, and I got a text from one of my buddies who I went over with, and they're huge Star Wars fans, but they're those guys that just want to finish really quick. And they were like, dude, we're going to go on the breakfast. And I was like, yeah, I'll see you guys later on this afternoon, because I'm just running around and take photos. So.
Happiness can be purchased. It's just got to be not things that you buy, but experiences that you have. So these races might seem a little bit expensive, but would you guys all say they're worth it?
Every penny.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
What else would get me to do a half marathon, right?
There you go. Hey, I'm the one. I never thought I hadn't run since high school, and that was only when I was playing baseball. And I did the Everest challenge that made way for the Dark Side, the Star Wars half marathon Dark Side, and I loved every second of it, and can't wait to run in another Run Disney event. So, and there's everything you guys say.
And there's a race for everybody, Bob. I mean, if you're a Star Wars geek, you know what I'm saying? There's two races for you. If you're into princesses and all that kind of stuff, you got Princess Weekend. For me, I love Marathon Week. I love the straight up classic characters. I mean, that's my thing. So if you're into booze and eating, you got Wine and Dine Weekend. So
yes, I am.
There's something. So they are expensive, but you know what though? If you can afford at least maybe one race, there's something for everybody's palate. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to run every one, but there's something for everybody. That somebody will gravitate to. And for me, I love the classic characters. You guys love the Star Wars characters. Everybody, picks the experience they want, and that's what makes Run Disney so great. There's something for everybody.
Wow. And that's the thing with the 5K. The 5K really is relatively reasonable price-wise. It's always under $100, and you still get to experience all the things that you experience in the marathons. So.
And don't forget too, with people always think like, oh, the Disney races are so expensive. Is you get a lot of the swag and stuff too. Like you get a nice shirt, you get all the bells and whistles too, and that's just part of the experience as well. I think because I think a lot of people will just look at the price tag and be like, oh, I don't want to do that. But when they get to go to the expo to pick up their stuff and they see maybe some of the characters and stuff there, they see some of the backdrops that they put out. They really put the Disney experience with their races, and I think that gets sometimes lost when people see they get the sticker shock of looking at the price. But it's just so much more fun.
If you look at some of the backstage tours that they have, the different experiences that you can purchase that take you places where the regular guests don't get to go, it's comparable to what you're doing with those things. And you're getting to do something that not everybody gets to do. You don't get to run through the parks normally. I mean, unless you're, Sean Woosley doing his commando to Peter Pan, you're running to the park. But you know what I'm saying? You get to see, I got to see kind of the backstage of Animal Kingdom running through for Everest. So you do get to see a lot of cool different things. Yeah.
It's all about what you make of it.
We saw, we ran through some Animal Kingdom for the half, right? Or am I just doing
Yes, we did. Yeah, the whole parking lot,
super cool.
And then up by the tree, and yeah.
And listen,
and
I want
there's fireworks. That's not like a normal local race kind of thing. They have to pay for the pyrotechnics, people.
That's right. That's right. And for all those folks out there, Emily and Joe, we had a lot of folks are like, well, I don't really run. I walk or I bicycle. let everybody know, please, that everybody can join the Resort Loop Rocketeers. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be a marathon runner.
I promise you, I can post some pictures of myself that will assure you that you really don't have to be an athlete or look like one. So.
Absolutely.
And right now we have, I'm on the website, we have 55 members right now signed up. We have a nice core group of people that have been pretty active on the page. Just a quick shout out, just a couple of them. Kyle Ostrander, Scott Piety, David Eileen Lawrence, and a really good friend of mine, Brittany Meyer, all have been out there running, doing their things. So shout out to those Rocketeers out there. It's a small group right now. We're hoping to grow. And, if you're new to this, if you're listening to this and you haven't joined yet, sign up. Request us to join a group. Just join a team. And it's even just a very social atmosphere as well, not only with running stuff, but also with, just socially about Disney as well.
That's on Facebook or Twitter. You can find us on the Resort Loop Rocketeers or Rocketeers, or go to ResortLoop.com and go to one of the links from there. But what we want to do with the Rocketeers is just encourage everybody to get outside. Get outside, do a little bit, just move. Too many.
Like Pokemon Go with Mickey.
Exactly. There you go.
Ooh,
there
nice.
you go. And not staring at your phone.
Right. Yeah. Very supportive group.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're walking around the neighborhood right now, aren't you, Emily?
You should see downtown Sugar Falls. It's like a bunch of zombies.
Yes.
And Bob, if anybody has any questions, they could, hit us up on Facebook, or they could email us. I think our email is runningteam@ResortLoop.com, I believe.
Yes.
Myself or Emily, we both have access to that email. One of us will get back to you if you guys have any questions, or just send us an email just to say hello. But yeah, just come in a group. It's been a lot of fun so far. It's a thing we're all growing together. Emily and I are kind of figuring this out little by little with the help of Tim and Bob. And, we'll see where it goes. But right now it's been a lot of fun, and we're going to keep it going.
And there's some cool shirts that are less than the price of a 5K at Disney. So that's pretty cool.
The shirts are at cost, by the way. Just to let everybody know, we're not making any kind of profit. We made sure. Yeah, we wanted them to be at cost because it's expensive enough doing any kind of Run Disney event or running in general. The shoes alone are
and they're not cheap shirts either. They're not cheap.
And nice these are really nice shirts, and you guys have a couple of them. And do you like them? Are their shirts nice?
Oh my gosh, they're phenomenal. It's like seriously my new favorite shirt. I have to buy. I'm seriously about to buy about 10 of them. Not really, maybe 10, 5, whatever. I don't know. Somewhere between 5 and 10. Can't do math right now. I'm too excited about it.
We're just trying to get the word out about the running team. We're trying to grow the running team. So, because like Joe said, the more folks that we have, the more encouragement everybody gets, and the more, the more people get to get outside. And
That's right.
Maybe the next time you go to Walt Disney World, you're not so tired after a long day of hiking around the parks because, you've been outside a little bit and been part of our running team.
Yeah, training with some friends, getting some support.
Or the Rocketeers, I should say. Not really the running team. Yeah.
All you Disney parents out there, it's really, my kids keep asking me, like, oh, mommy's doing squats, or mommy's going for a run, and things like that. No, they're pretty young, so they haven't noticed that mommy's running speed is, not as fast as other people's. But what I can tell you is that, these little lifestyle choices, if you mirror them for your kids, it's just a really positive thing. It's the same reason you love showing your kids Disney stuff, because it's positive, it's empowering, things like that. So consider adding stuff to your lifestyle. It really will augment everything. It'll show the people that you love that it's possible, especially if you're somebody like me that nobody ever thought could run a mile. So
and it really helps validate all the trips to Disney World during the year.
Yes,
exactly.
Validation I found yet.
Excellent point. Yeah.
Any excuse to go back down. Absolutely.
And if you need to explain to your husband why you're going on a girls' trip, you just say, I'm going to run a half marathon. Do you want to come? And he says, heck no. And then you say, okay, I'm going with Tara again.
There you go.
He's just wondering why they're all princess marathons. Why are they all princess marathons? Well, Tim, awesome. That is all I have for these guys.
Oh, Emily, Joe, Tara, and Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
No, thank you. Great job on the team so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, we agree. You guys are doing fantastic. Emily and Joe, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Once again, you can find us over there at Facebook at the Resort Loop Rocketeers. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Twitter at ResortLoop Tim, Facebook at Tim Scott, and the website, ResortLoop.com.
I'm Resort Loop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget Facebook /Resort Loop and the Rocketeers. And rate us on iTunes. What else should folks do, Tim?
Absolutely. Go out and share on your favorite social media, the gateway to the magic.
See you, everybody. With 4 theme parks, 25 resort hotels, hundreds of dining and shopping locations, and seemingly innumerable special events and ticket options, planning a trip to Walt Disney World can seem overwhelming. That's why the ResortLoop.com podcast has teamed up with People Mover Travel to help you get the most magic out of your Disney vacation. People Mover Travel will walk you through every aspect of your next Disney trip, from ensuring you get the best discounts to FastPass Plus and dining reservations and so many other things. Best of all, there is no fee for their service. That's right, you get your very own expert Disney vacation planner at no cost to you. For more information and to request a free, no-obligation quote, visit peoplemovertravel.com.